Hi, I'm Warren Sprouse here on the Bible Forum. We're going to be looking tonight at Armageddon, plagiarizing Britt Gillett's newest book title. And it's also the title of another book back in 2010. I guess book titles you can't copyright them. The title is called Racing Toward Armageddon. It's a series of recent news stories have highlighted this biblical reality in terms of the massive advances made in the field of artificial intelligence. This is AI. We've talked about this before, but it keeps evolving. Several of these focus on China's Yitu Technologies, a company at the forefront of AI development. Yitu created a technology called Dragonfly. Dragonfly can search and analyze billions of photographs and locate a single person in a matter of seconds. Connected to cameras in the Shanghai metro, it identified over 500 criminals in a 3-month period. It is so powerful it can recognize people wearing disguises. And it can identify people using pictures of them that are more than 30 years old. As Dragonfly eventually connects to every camera in the nation, criminals will have nowhere to hide. Unfortunately, no one else will either. Chinese dissidents, political activists, ethnic minorities, Christians, and other enemies of the state will also have nowhere to hide. And it's quite likely China will be the only state to take advantage of this technology. Unlikely that China will be the only state that takes advantage of this technology. In the near future, technologies like Dragonfly will be commonplace everywhere, at least in Western civilization and other places where people have money. The ability to see and to hear everything will be even easier for government. Unfortunately, while most people object to this type of surveillance and invasion of privacy, their everyday actions bring it closer and closer to reality. How is that? Well, many people voluntarily reveal the most intimate details of their lives. They upload pictures of themselves and their friends to Facebook, and they tag them so AI systems can recognize them. They reveal personal information on Snapchat and Twitter, and they set up devices like the Google Mini and the Amazon Echo in their homes. These devices respond to voice commands. They make life easier, but they also have a downside. By definition, they are always listening. That means a microphone is in your house listening at all times. And some of the newer devices feature cameras as well. As time goes by, these devices will become smaller and cheaper. And as they become smaller and cheaper, they'll become ubiquitous. They'll be everywhere. How much smaller and cheaper will these devices become? Imagine trillions of high-definition cameras and microphones, each one the size of a dust particle. Now, some might be so small the naked eye can't see them. These cameras and microphones will constantly record everything. And you say, well, how will they be placed? The answer? They won't. Like dust, they'll spread across the earth and settle on every surface. They'll be everywhere. They'll settle on your clothes. They'll come in through the ventilation in your house. They'll stick to the bottoms of your shoes, and they'll blow through the streets. And this nano dust will be actively sending raw video and audio content straight to the government. But wait, you might say, how will the government sift through all this data? It would take legions of intelligence analysts a century or more to listen to just one day of global conversations, right? Probably. But humans won't comb through all this data. AI will. Technology similar to Dragonfly will search and analyze everything, not just faces. In the same way Dragonfly analyzes faces, AI systems of the future will search audio recordings for specific phrases and undesirable language. They'll analyze video to find certain patterns of movement or behavior. And AI systems will be able to identify common traits shared by enemies of the state. With the ability to process mountains of information at high speeds, AI systems will analyze information with a much higher level of precision than any human analyst ever could. A global network of such technologies will have the ability to listen to every conversation on Earth. No one will be able to escape the ever-watchful eye of Big Brother. So why does any of this matter? Well, because 2,000 years ago, the Bible said a single government will rule the people of the world. Revelation chapter 13, verse 7. It also said the leader of that government will exercise such total control, he'll be able to decide who can buy or sell anything. Think about those statements. A global government with total and complete control over all commerce. To achieve this feat requires a police state the likes of which the world has never seen. Was such a state possible in the first century? No. Was it possible in the 20th century? No. How about in this century, the 21st? Most likely. And it won't just be a possibility. It'll be a reality. Government won't be able to resist the temptation that AI offers. It's just one more sign that we're nearing the end of the age. Remember, global government isn't the only sign of the end, but it's also the appearing at the same time of other signs Jesus said, or Jesus and the prophets had said to look for. In Jeremiah chapter 23, look for Israel to be back in the land. Oh wait, they're having their 70th anniversary in May. The Jewish people once again reside in Jerusalem. Though a very small country, Israel has an exceedingly great army. Ezekiel 37 talks about it. In Daniel chapter 2, the implication is a Europe that is unifying, becoming one government, not a mix of countries. And the gospel is being preached to the ends of the earth, Matthew 24. These are all signs Jesus and the prophets said we were to look for. And our generation is the first ever to witness these signs. Do you think all of that is mere coincidence? No, I don't either. Jesus himself said in Luke chapter 21, when all these things begin to happen, look up, for your salvation is near. In Matthew 24, he said the generation witnessing these signs will not pass away before his return. The appearance of these signs is the number one indicator the end of the age and the second coming of Jesus are near. For the first time in history, we see all those signs. They're all around us. So we should not doubt that Jesus is coming. Britt Gillette is author of the free ebook, Coming to Jesus, as well as the book Signs and Coming of Christ, Racing Toward Armageddon. You can read about this stuff. But the real question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? There are no signs that you can point to specifically say, okay, it's going to happen at this time, this place. No, just it's getting there. It's setting up. We know that from the time that the Great Tribulation begins until the time when Jesus actually puts his foot down on the Mount of Olives is 7 years. So at any given moment in time, we got a 7-year window. But I believe the Bible teaches that during that 7-year period of time, while there will be millions of people who are saved, there will be billions of people who are killed, suffering all sorts of diseases, hunger, thirst, not to mention wars, tremendous wars. Are you ready?